Good morning, everyone. I'm Dmitry. Here I'm representing the Ribbon Special Interest Group. It was founded a couple years ago as a separate project. The main goal of the project was to implement the Ribbon interface for IntelliCAD. And so the new special interest group was called Ribbon. And nowadays its responsibility is general user interface development and customization features. And now I would like to show some UI features implemented during the last several releases. This is a short summary here. And we need to launch a recent IntelliCAD build now. The Pro version, as it has Ribbon interface. Standard version does not have the Ribbon interface. The Ribbon interface is an optional component available in IntelliCAD for the last several years, so you probably know how it looks like. Users can switch from one tab to another. Commands are grouped in panels. Panels can have additional space called expander. We can pin it so it will not collapse automatically. Panels can have buttons of different types. Buttons executing commands, usually. Buttons showing submenus, and booths executing commands and showing submenus. It can be buttons firing custom actions, like in the text editor. Also, it can be a control of a certain type, like layer, color, line type controls. We put the layer control over here. This group of elements at the top left is called the quick access toolbar, as users can access it from any tab with just one click. We can add commands here right from the ribbon, remove them. Here we have the Workspaces control. It is used to, let me pin off the layer control. The Workspaces control is used to switch to any available workspace and set up a new one. Also, I would mention that think about people who prefer to work in the classic interface. They can switch to menu bar. Or they can show menu bar and ribbon at the same time. Some people prefer to minimize their ribbon to increase the drawing area. Well, back to my presentation. A couple of words about Workspaces. Workspaces is this is a way to quickly switch to any UI layout, save it, and restore. A workspace allows you to control a user interface for a specific task or solution. This is my favorite picture. What would happen if we turn on all the toolbars we had? Users will probably hate us, right? For example, let's imagine I'm a user doing simple markup. Well, where is the text command? Over here, right? I would probably spend my time inefficiently trying to find the simple commands I need. So, but with a simple markup workspace, you can present only the commands needed. Of course, all the standard functionality still exists. You can type commands in the command bar, but the user interface is simplified. In this way, you can take the complex CAD platform and simplify it for a specific task or solution. Another example for workspaces is when you have multiple solutions, like architectural, civil, survey, available in a single instance of IntelliCAD. In this way, you can, for example, you could have multiple solutions, each with hundreds of commands, and you can create a separate workspace for each one. So you can access all the solution at the same IntelliCAD version, at the same IntelliCAD, but have a specific UI for each one. Keynotes about workspaces. Then I need to switch to IntelliCAD. To show a quick demo about workspaces. By default, IntelliCAD has several workspaces. Drafting and annotation is the default one. It has full-featured ribbon and menu bar, and a couple of toolbars at the left and at the right. IntelliCAD Classic is the classic interface with a menu bar and standard set of toolbars. View and markup shows only some basic commands. You would probably think that this is not a good example of workspaces, right? Because of the huge empty area on the ribbon. But don't forget that every user has his specific needs. Well, let's imagine I'm a user, once again, a normal one. I don't need the help tab because I don't read it anyway, so just hide it. The output tab. I need only printing stuff. I don't need export. So just hide this tab to hide output. Also, I don't like an idea of switching from one tab to another. I think that navigation stuff is the helpful one. So just hide the view tab and go and customize this workspace. Well, copy and paste navigation panel. Then we need printing stuff is in the output tab. Copy and paste. Well, that's it. Looks much better, isn't it? Well, IntelliCAD has the special workspace. It is called DGN Markup Workspace. It gets activated once a DGN file becomes active. So I have just opened a DGN file, and DGN markup workspace gets activated. If we switch to DWG file, our previous workspace gets activated. Back to DGN file. So close the DGN. Oh, I forgot to mention that the DGN workspace contains only those commands that are currently supported by our DGN implementation. Users can create their own workspaces or modify existing workspaces. There is Save As dialog. We can save the current UI layout as a named workspace, give it a name. Give it a name. Okay, now I created another one workspace. Also, there is the workspace settings dialog. It allows to modify some settings of workspaces. We can pin them, we can show and hide them, move them up and down in menus. Also, there is so-called My Workspace setting for workspaces. Currently, My Workspace is IntelliCAD Classic. We can set up a My Workspace and quickly switch to My Workspace using the Workspaces toolbar. Here is the Workspaces toolbar, and here is the button, My Workspace or Home Workspace. Back to the ribbon. One another feature I wanted to mention is contextual ribbon tabs. A contextual tab gets activated once a certain type of entity is selected or a command is being executed. A good example for contextual ribbon tabs is the new multi-line text editor. Let's insert probably another drawing. Let's insert an mText here. And this is a contextual tab related to multi-line text editor. We can type a text here and modify some properties. The size, the color. Again, for classic interface lovers, there is the multi-line text editor toolbar with just the same functionality. This is a special toolbar. It cannot be docked to any side of the main window, cannot be removed or customized. By the way, other toolbars can be docked to any side of the main window. Left, right, top. At the bottom, we have an option. We can dock to above or below the command bar. It can be useful for some kind of customizations. Back to the ribbon. One another thing related to contextual ribbon tabs is that users can create their own contextual tabs and modify. Can create their own contextual tabs and assign these tabs to objects of any type, even custom type. Let me show the sample application. It is called custom entity sample. The source code is available in the IntelliCAD API folder. Let's load it. On its load, it adds menus to create a custom entity. Let's create one. Also, it has a contextual ribbon tab assigned to the entity type. So once an entity is selected, the tab is activated. By the way, there is a context menu assigned to the entity type. Let's unload the app. One another feature related to contextual tabs is that they can be shown as a separate tab or can be merged into the active ribbon tab. Let me show how ref-edit context tab works. Let's insert an NX reference first. Here is our X reference, and go and modify it. Ref-edit. See, instead of creating a separated tab, the panels are merged into the active tab. This can be useful. Back to my presentation. Ribbon supports some basic API that can be utilized by external applications and to modify ribbon elements properties. Here is the set of getter API functions used to get properties and the list of setter functions used to modify properties. And then quickly switch to IntelliCAD. Let me show the sample application using the API. And I have an RX application. It is called Ribbon API sample. The source code is available in the IntelliCAD API folder. Let's load it. It adds his own ribbon tab. Also, it has a couple of basic commands that calls ribbon API functions to toggle element properties like disable, enable, show, hide elements, toggle command text, and button text. Currently, the ribbon API is very basic and was introduced mainly to resolve certain problems. If needed, we can easily extend it, I think. Ribbon API, unload. Then a couple of words about tool palettes. And the work is still in progress for this project, as Natalia mentioned it, and but it already has some things to show and to use. The structure is pretty straightforward. A set of palettes, each one is represented by a tab. A palette can have tools of different types. A command tool executes a command like a ribbon or toolbar button, no difference. Block tool inserts a block from an external drawing. Other types includes hatch tools and camera tools, but they are not implemented yet. Every tool has properties. We can go and modify them. Which color, layer to use, and etc. A command tool allows to modify its command also. Then I would like to show a block tools support that was implemented a couple of weeks ago, but IntelliCAD, regular IntelliCAD installation doesn't have palettes with block tools. So let's grab some palettes from AutoCAD installation. AutoCAD keeps its palettes in a set of XML files. I just copied one of the file and then let IntelliCAD know where the file is located. Go to Options, Paths, and add the path. Probably here. Let's try. Okay, here is the civil palette from AutoCAD installation. Well, icons don't look great because this is AutoCAD icons optimized for dark theme. All is block tools, okay. We can, for example, build a simple road. Let's build. Insert one block. Probably I need different scale factor. Okay, let's add another one. Well, that's it, I think. Every block tool has some properties. In addition to general properties, it has insert properties like name of a block, source file, scale factor, rotation angle, and other. About customization. For current moment, tool palettes support basic customization features. We can insert a new palette, give it a name, wrong name. We can remove existing palettes, reorder them, moving them up and down, rename. We can copy and paste tools. Also rename tools and reorder tools. Well, tool palettes project plan includes support of advanced customization features. It will be possible to import and export palettes and to create new tools just by drag and drop. Another feature related to tool palettes implemented during the IntelliCAD 9 release is Explorer palettes. Natalia also mentioned it. Let me first show the old Explorer dialog. Here is the dialog. It has several tabs like layers, text styles, views, and others. So an idea is to turn the dialog into separate docking panels like the tool palettes window. It is controlled by, let's close tool palettes. It is controlled by exp palettes system variable. So first set it to 1. By default it is off. And open a couple of palettes. They looks just like the properties dialog that every IntelliCAD user is already familiar with. They can be docked to any side of the main window. Can be floated, can be set to auto hide mode. And also we can set up transparency for each tool palette, for each Explorer palette, excuse me. So it becomes semi-transparent. Users can decide which Explorer function is currently needed and open related panels respectively. Another advantage is that they do not cover the drawing space area, so users can work with palettes and see their drawing at the same time. Another feature, the last one I think I would like to show is the new customized dialog. The work is still in progress. Here we continue adding new customization features into the dialog, but it is already turned on in the release 9. It has better functions of import and export customizations and has better UI. The structure, the current customization tree structure is the same as underlying CUI file, a set of workspaces followed by a set of loaded menu groups. To change an order of the menus or ribbon tabs, just drag and drop them. To add a new item like add new toolbar, right click the tree, insert the toolbar, give it a name, and then drag and drop commands from the commands list. We can modify properties of elements of any type. If there is an icon, we can change it to. Pick an icon either from the default list of IntelliCAD icons, or provide a BMP or PNG file of a proper size, or provide a resource DLL and pick an icon from there. Let's provide a resource DLL and assign an icon. The new customized dialog has better functions of import and export customizations. They are available from the transfer tab. Here, by default, at the left is the current user customization, and at the right side, we can either pick a customization file of a different file formats like CUIX, CUI, MNU, and some others. Or we can drag and drop arbitrary set of elements from the left side to the right and save the result as an external CUI or CUIX file. Let's, for example, save everything we have at the left to external CUIX file. So just drag and drop. And save the result as the CUIX file. CUIX is a new AutoCAD format for customization, and it is the only file format available in AutoCAD for export. So this is just essential for us to support it, because to help our users to export their customizations from AutoCAD to IntelliCAD. Then let's, for example, create a new file and export only the first menu and the first toolbar to external CUI file. The first menu and the first toolbar. Rename the menu group. Done. And save it to CUI. Another one real-life example I would like to show. Let's imagine I have customizations for civil and for survey solutions. I want to get them, and I want to merge them with the default IntelliCAD customization and provide the result to my users. So let's open the customization file. Here is my civil and survey stuff. The civil menu group has a full-featured menu bar with file, edit, view, window, etc. And a couple of toolbars and ribbon tabs. And this should probably replace the default IntelliCAD customization when users work with civil stuff. And the survey, this should be probably added into IntelliCAD default customization, because here we have only one menu, toolbar, and ribbon tab, all is called survey. And the result will be a CUI file that will replace IntelliCAD default CUI in installer for my users. And don't forget that users usually want to keep their customization even on update to a newer version of IntelliCAD. IntelliCAD provides such an option. It is called CUI versions. If you open IntelliCAD CUI file, you will probably notice that every element in there has its version. Okay, Workspace has versions. Every command has version, alias, and etc. So after an update on the very first launch, IntelliCAD can compare the current user customization with the default one, just install it element by element and decide what to update. So if we want customized dialog to take care about the versions stuff of everything we are going to add now, we need to set customize dialog type system variable, customize dialog. By the way, it is hidden system variable to the value of 2 and launch the dialog again. Before we can start, I need to reset the default, the current customization with the default one, because I need it to be clean. By the way, we can't restore from a backup. IntelliCAD produces backup files, but reset from default now. Okay, we can start. Open the customization file again. Everything is simple, just drag and drop menu groups, then update existing workspaces, remove workspaces I don't need. I don't need view and markup workspace. We break it anyway. Okay, and create a separate workspace for each application. Create a civil workspace and survey. Well, as I mentioned, civil workspace has only civil stuff. So just drag and drop menus into the workspace and toolbars. And tabs. And survey workspace will have not only survey stuff, but also some DGN default, or not DGN, ICAD default stuff. So we need some menus. A couple of toolbars. And ribbon tabs. And don't forget about survey menu group. Drag and drop menus from there. Toolbars. And ribbon. Okay, that's it. I can use either this file at the left, but don't forget to save it before. Or I can create a separate file at the right side and drag and drop all I have at the left to the right. So that's it probably regarding customization features. Let's get back to my slides. Here is the list of new customization features. I have just mentioned it. Oh, I forgot to mention double click route. It was implemented in the release 9. Double-click route contains a set of double-click actions. Well, shortly speaking, double-click action tells which command to call when a certain type of entity is double-clicked. And we can customize it using the customize dialog. Three major development directions for the next year for Ribbon Special Interest Group. First of all, we need to complete tool palettes. I mean customizations, features. I have just mentioned it. Better support of different tool types like block tools, hatch tools. Also, customize dialog needs support. Some features are still missing from the dialog. I mean the command list customizations, icons editing capabilities like in AutoCAD, and some other. CUI format development plan is a CUI format extension to support different types of sections from AutoCAD CUI. For example, image menu route. And CUIX format support needs to be completed. First of all, I mean support of BMP, PNG, and RESX resources. Well, this is the last slide of my presentation. If you have any questions, please ask. Yes, please.
In the customized dialog, when you're editing a ribbon, can you drag and drop buttons?
Yes.
On the ribbon?
Yes, just drag and drop. Yeah. Either you can copy and paste them by right-click, copy and paste. It works too. Any questions? Yes, please.
I have a question about contextual tabs.
Contextual tabs.
Yeah. How to assign contextual tab to specific object?
Do you mean specific?
Is it hard-coded or a user can find it in the CUI file?
Okay, we have a good example. It is sample. Sample is called custom entity sample, and we have API to assign object types to specific tabs. So it is not hard coded. We have API.
This API available from IRX?
Yes, yes. The custom entity sample is an IRX application, yes. Yes, please.
So does that mean that it only works with custom entities?
Not only for custom entities, for entities, for standard entities, I mean, like line, circle, everything. Thank you.